Hey, it's Mikey from the podcast you're about to listen to with a special announcement. I just want to let you know at the end of the episode where I go, cool, thanks, bye, we'll talk to you later. Don't turn off the episode. That's not actually the end. In fact, there's 22 extra minutes of energy drink content for you. We have two very special guest review spots that are going to get added into the end of it. One from our friends over at Pixel Project Radio, and the other from our friends over at Lo5 Gaming. Through a bunch of Twitter jackassery, we're able to convince 3 other podcasters to try energy drinks, and they were nice enough to record their impressions and send them to me. So big shout outs to both Pixel Project Radio and Lo5 Gaming. All of their information will be in the show notes down below. Give them a follow, listen to them. They are like legitimately 2 of the best video game podcasts on the air right now. So go follow them, go listen to them. They're great. I love them. They're awesome for putting up with whatever the fuck bullshit they had to go through to get these energy drinks. They will all explain it in when we get there, but please don't turn off once I say peace. There's another 22 minutes of the podcast left, so make sure to listen to them. Don't turn it off, and then we'll see you for the next episode. But once I say bye, there's still a shit ton more content to come. Thanks. Let's get back to it. Welcome, everybody, to the next episode of the Big Drink Energy podcast. As always, I'm your host, Mike, and we have a very special episode today. I'd argue this is the first real crossover episode we have, because we've had other people from other podcasts come on, but they're all energy drink people. This is the first time, dare I say, we have someone who hates energy drinks on the podcast. So I'm going to go ahead and let him introduce himself, but please welcome to the show.
I'm Ryan from List Off Podcast. How's it going? Good to be here.
I'm
good to be here. Mikey, as I refer to you.
Yeah.
Not Mike.
Mikey, whatever works. I put out a tweet the other day that, like, so few people call me Michael that I don't respond to it anymore. I had my neighbor look me dead in my eyes and say, "Morning, Michael," and I didn't think he was talking to me, and I completely ignored him. But just so like, as long as you don't call me Michael, that works. But thank you for coming on the show.
Yeah, no problem, man. It's my pleasure. Thanks for having me. I bet he will never greet you again. No. Like, he's not a friendly neighbor after that, dude. You burned that bridge, buddy.
And, like, I feel, because I never introduced myself as Michael, but my father-in-law is here, and he's also Mike, and because he's older, he introduced himself as Mike, and I was Michael, and now just, like, my relationship with my neighbor has been ruined forever now, because I was introduced as Michael.
Dude, I walk around with like earbuds in most of the time when I'm outside because I'm like doing the lawn or whatever. Yeah. And I'm sure my neighbor, like, I know for a fact I have missed my neighbors talking to me, and it's partially because I don't hear them, but partially because like I know they're talking to me and I'm not really like, I mean, I'm neighborly, like I'm nice to my neighbors, but like, it's a little awkward sometimes. One of them started talking about this conspiracy theory. There's a water tower near me. Oh, dude, it's great stuff. And he was like, "Oh, when I was growing up, my friend's uncle helped build that water tower, and it's actually a bomb shelter for local municipal like government heads." And I'm like, "What? Like, aren't those usually underground, dude?" And he's like, "No, they built it up in the water tower." I'm like, "Oh, wow, okay, makes sense."
The last interaction I had with my neighbors, I mowed the lawn yesterday, and my partner was like, "Oh, you should go mow the lawn." I'm like, "I gotta wait 20 minutes. Ted, my neighbor, he's mowing his lawn right now. We can't do it at the same time, because we're gonna have that thing where every time he goes up and I go down and we see each other, do we say hi 15 times? No, I'm just gonna wait for him to be done."
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
So I was like,
it is awkward.
Yeah, I specifically avoided him yesterday. Ted, I'm sure you're not listening, but if you are, I'm sorry.
It's because you called him Michael.
Yeah,
that's why, Ted.
Ted, you're dead to me. Theodore, I'm never talking to you again.
Exactly, man. Exactly.
But I'm happy that you're coming on. We had a Twitter interaction about the new GFuel Elden Ring flavor.
Yeah, buddy.
Well, I don't know if I can say new. It took about 2 months for it to get shipped, but
yeah. Oh gosh, right? That was my case.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was really looking forward to the game. I don't drink energy drinks. I don't hate them, but like it's rare that I have one. I recently had one that's like Celsius. Have you heard of Celsius?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was pretty good. It was like, it's definitely marketed to be like, this is your healthy energy
it's like the
drink.
healthier one, yeah.
okay. Like it was fine. It didn't really like get me going that well, but so I typically don't have them. And I was really excited for Elden Ring, and I saw the opportunity to come on your show, and I was like, "Yeah, dude, let's do this. Like, I'll pre-order it with you." And yours came like before it was technically released, I think.
Yes,
right?
I got early release. They just shipped it out. It came like 3 days before, like, quote unquote, the street release date, and then yours came 2 months late.
Yeah, because I was like, well, if I'm gonna get an energy drink, I never do it. I might as well treat myself and get the collector's edition. And because I got the collector's edition, it literally was delayed for 2 months. And they had the most bullshit email that came out. It was like, oh, yes, like your Elden Ring collector's edition is delayed, but it's so we could put more gold foil on it and like blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I don't care about that stuff, dude. Like, I just want the cup and the drink. That's it. Like, that's all I want.
So with the collector's edition, you got the energy drink powder, and what else came with it? Like the shaker cup?
That's it. It's the shaker cup. Yeah, it's this shaker cup right here, and it says Elden Ring on one side, and it says GFuel on the other, and that's the extent of it. Cool colors though, the black and gold, like with the Elden Ring marketing, and like I don't regret. I think it was like an extra $10 or something. I don't regret spending it. It was more like the delay.
Yeah.
I have blender bottles I easily could have used, but like I'm perfectly fine using this. Like. That's fine, yeah.
Now, I have never played Elden Ring, so I've never even played, like, a From Software game. I've never played Dark Souls or Bloodborne. Really? Yeah, I'm very behind on, like, my backlog. I'm still catching up on, like... Yeah. I'm catching up on Resident Evil 4, and I think my next game is going to be BioShock 1. So I have a...
Yeah, that's a good one, too. That's a good one, too. So, like, I could also, no judgment, I could see why you would avoid FromSoft games. It's definitely, like, apparent what type of game they are. Mm-hmm. So I think if you see them and hear about them, you would know you're either going to want to play them or going to want to stay away from them, right?
I think Elden Ring in particular is the most FOMO I've ever had with a video game. A lot of times I'll wait for, like, I don't get games on release very often. I'll wait for them to be like used, and I'll save like the $15 or whatever. But Elden Ring, everyone was playing it. I was like, I need to get that. I haven't had the time to play video games. Even if I bought it today, I probably wouldn't play it for like at least a month. So just like, sure, I'll get to it eventually.
So like, did you play Breath of the Wild?
I did play Breath of the Wild. Yeah, that was okay. So I got the Switch when I started when I started teaching. That was like the first. With my first paycheck as like an actual job, I'm like, I'm going to buy me a Switch. So I went out, I bought a Switch, and I brought Breath of the Wild, and I played that nonstop. That was like my first, I'd argue that was my first real purchase as an adult, like with my own money. Like, you know what, I'm going to drop $400. No one can stop me. And I bought the Switch with it. Yeah, buddy.
Nice. I bet that felt good.
Yeah. And just like, people are going through the same thing with the PS5 now, but I had to like drive around trying to find a Switch because I couldn't get it anywhere. I was like checking tracking websites. I was calling GameStops, and like they're not allowed to hold it for you. Like even like if I call them on the phone, they're like, "There's 2 left," and I would drive.
Better get here. Yeah.
So just like for like a solid week, every day when I got out of school, I would just drive to different. Like I was driving like 40 minutes to GameStops to see if they had the Switch in stock, because when I called them on my lunch break, they said, "We have 3 when you get out of class at 4 o'clock. If you get here at 4:30, no idea if they'll still be here." So
I kind of went through that with the Wii because it was like the hot item of its time.
Yeah.
And I did a similar thing where I kept like finding out when GameStop was like restocking their shelves and trying to make it that day. And eventually I ended up getting one. But the Switch, I was a day one Switch owner.
Nice.
Yeah. It's I was looking forward to it. I think just like the marketing and everything of what the console did was so well done and so cool. I was like, oh, I could play on a rooftop at a party with my friends. Like, I'm in. Who would do that in practical real life? Like, now, of course I do that all the time now.
I was gonna ask, have you done that yet? I remember when the commercials came out, it wasn't marketed towards kids. It was all like, here's a bunch of like 30-year-olds hanging out at a bar. I've never once taken my Switch to a rooftop party. Have you?
No, I haven't. I play docked like 95% of the time. So like, joke's on me, I guess. But no, I guess I brought up Breath of the Wild because like it's a fair comparison. It's an exhaustive open world. So like if you're in the, I don't know how you feel about open world games, but like if they're your cup of tea, yeah, you'll probably enjoy Elden Ring. It is more accessible than other FromSoft games for sure, for sure.
Nice.
I feel like this and Demon Souls are probably like the two most accessible FromSoft games. Yeah.
If I had to, I'd probably jump right into Elden Ring just because that's what everyone's playing. But because this is an Elden Ring flavored energy drink, I had a couple questions I was hoping you could answer.
Okay.
So, the flavor is Crimson Tears.
Yes.
Is that something in the game?
It's the healing item in the game.
Okay.
So like in other in like the Dark Souls games, they were Estus flasks. So this is basically like your Estus flask in Elden Ring. Yeah, yeah. You have Crimson Tears, and then you have Cerulean Tears. And Cerulean Tears are like your MP, like your mana refill.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it's pear flavored. So,
I've not tried it. Have you tried it?
No. I literally did. I just opened it now. But it's pear flavored. Would you when you think Elden Ring, do you think pear as the associative fruit? Like why did they pick that?
Well, I mean, there's a lot of fictional fruit in the game, right? So I can understand that they couldn't try to replicate a flavor that doesn't exist. But yeah, I guess like the only reason I could think they went with pear is because of that like gold color scheme. You know, maybe it's more like, oh, it's like you could have golden pears, and the game very much has like a major focus point of the game is the Erd tree, and it is this glowing gold tree. So like, yeah, I could probably see golden pears growing on that tree. You know, if any fruit were to grow on it, it'd probably be like golden pears.
Have you seen, speaking of fictional fruit, GFuel, they have a Crash Bandicoot flavor. It's wampum fruit flavored. Have you seen those?
No, I haven't.
Yeah.
No, at first I thought you were going to say it tastes like Crash Bandicoot, which probably is pretty gnarly, dude. Like, I can't see that tasting too good. He doesn't look like the type of guy who showers. You know?
No, definitely not.
Yeah.
And then, in Elden Ring, is there an actual ring called Elden? Like, what is the Elden Ring?
So there was an Elden Ring. Man, this is like a quiz, dude. I haven't played in a few months. Like, oh, okay, hold on, give me a minute. So there was like the Elden Ring, and it kind of like dictated the rules of the land, you know, like it was and then it was shattered. So you're basically trying to like recover the pieces of the shattered Elden Ring in the game. Yeah.
So then it's like the end game you've collected. Do you end the game by owning the Elden Ring? Do you put it together? Is that like, are you king now?
It's not that simple. Yeah, it's not that simple. I don't want to spoil too much. There are multiple endings that you could take based off of like NPC interactions and kind of like what quests you do. And some of the optional endings even result from like side quests that you can do. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, so there are a multitude of different ways it could end. And I will say one of them is, yes, like taking the throne and being the new Elden Lord. Like that is an optional ending. Yeah.
So is Elden like the name of the town, the country? Just like the Elden Ring, the Lord of Elden? No?
No, I think it's more like a practical use of the term, like Elden, like old, like the lands between is the name of the realm where like this all takes place. It's in the land. There are different like little parts of the lands between, but that's the name of the overarching world that you're in.
Gotcha. Yeah. Okay. Cool. I see the tree now. I see the golden tree you were talking about.
Yeah. And this is actually the Elden Ring. This is the Elden Ring. It's like not a physical ring, I think.
Logo. Okay.
It's like a symbol. I think it's also a physical ring because it was shattered. It might be like a rune that was shattered, you know? I don't know, man. Like I said, I haven't played it in a few months. I do remember a good chunk of the game, but like FromSoft has this way of storytelling that is very vague. And some aspects of Elden Ring are really like easy to discern, you know, but other ones it's like I don't know what's going on, but I know I have to go here and like that's the next step, so I'll go there and do the thing that I'm supposed to do. And you have fun. You still have fun playing it because like the enemy variety is good, and you know the combat's rewarding, like and not to mention what you gain from the combat and from like the treasures. It's always rewarding, and it definitely like scratches that gamer itch of like progress, you know. But it's not always clear like why you're doing what you're doing.
I haven't played it, but I watched a video, and it it was an explanation why the skeletons in Elden Ring were better than the skeletons in Skyrim. Just like,
I mean, I'm willing to bet it's because it's a generational difference, like two generations later, right?
It came out like 18 years after it. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I guess like Skyrim's not a. I mean, yeah, like fine. You could say this game has like Skyrim-esque aspects to it. Like they're both giant open world games, medieval fantasy. Like, you know what I mean? There's dragons in both of them. Like, yeah.
So what I'm hearing, both of them are essentially just Walmart Lord of the Rings, right? That's what you're getting at.
I think this is definitely like inspired. It has some inspirations from Lord of the Rings. Like this has, you know, it's also part of it. The lore was written by George R. R. Martin, and I think he takes some of his inspiration from Lord of the Rings as well. So that's maybe why. But yeah, I think it's funny too because when you're playing, it's never clear what George R. R. Martin did.
Oh, okay.
You know, like you never, because so much of this is typical from soft storytelling. But apparently, George R. R. Martin helped develop like the lore of the land and like the people involved. So,
are you much of like a fantasy book reader?
Yeah, I read some fantasy stories. Yeah,
one of my favorite fantasy authors, Brandon Sanderson.
He's big right now, man. That guy's blowing up.
Yeah, he's big. He's like, since George R. R. Martin like kind of stopped writing books, he's like become like the it thing in the fantasy world. And I don't want to say salty because it seems like I'm trying to like I'm just gonna shove him aside. But he was very salty. He was not picked to do the Elden Ring, and George R. R. Martin was, because he was George R. R. Martin hasn't written anything in a decade. He doesn't even play video games. I do both. I love video games. You should have picked me.
I saw he had a video or a tweet or something where he's like, I am a huge fan of FromSoft games. Like, I love Dark Souls, and you picked this guy who doesn't even play video games? Yeah, which, like, rightfully so.
Oh, yeah, dude. I get that.
And plus, like, I think it's a fair point. If they gave the opportunity to Brandon Sanderson, he probably would have had more to put into the game. Not saying George R. R. Martin didn't, but like I said, it's never clear what he did. And I could see Brandon Sanderson being like, dude, let me write this whole game. like let me do this, you know?
Yeah. But I just went ahead, and I know you already mixed yours, but I just opened mine. I want to...
Okay. It smells good.
Yeah, I just want to... Yeah. It doesn't smell super strong, but like a lot of times when you open up an energy drink, it's either it doesn't smell too strong or like it'll knock you on your ass. It's just like very strong. So just like a lot of times those are the bad ones. So I'm glad it doesn't smell awful.
Dude, it's so soft. It's like the powder is so like soft. I was amazed by it. It's like, and then it changes color.
Does it? Oh, that I did not know that. That's cool.
Oh, spoiler alert, man! I know you're about to pour it. Sorry, dude. I didn't mean to ruin the experience here.
Good. Should I just?
Oh yeah. While he's mixing this drink, I could talk more about Elden Ring. I will say, probably most people would disagree with me, but it's not my favorite FromSoft game. My favorite FromSoft game is actually a Blue Point game, and it's the remake of Demon's Souls.
Oh.
Yeah, I just love that game so much because I think there's something to be said about a more direct experience that is like shorter, 20 to 25 hours, and it's not as free form as far as where you can go and what you can do. And I appreciated that from Demon's Souls. I think the care that went into the world creation in Demon's Souls, the remake specifically, is like second to none.
So I know you're a host on the List Off podcast. I don't know if all of my listeners will know that, but essentially you do like top 5, top 10 lists. If you had to top 5 the From Software games.
Wow.
I was about to say there's like 3 Dark Souls, Demon Souls. Oh, there's Sekiro. Right. There's 6.
I haven't played Sekiro.
Okay, cool. Kick it off the list. So
it is. It's off the list. Definitely off the list. So top 5, real quick. Top 5 FromSoft games. I haven't played every FromSoft game, but I'd probably go number 5, Dark Souls 3. Number 4, Dark Souls, the original. Number 3, Bloodborne. Number 2, Elden Ring, and number 1, Demon's Souls. Is probably my top 5. Top 5 right there.
I'm going to go ahead and clip this and email it to you so you can go ahead and put that up on your RSS feed as a mini episode for you. Done. 30 seconds.
Yeah. Perfect.
So
Yeah, I think a lot of people would disagree with my ranking. But hey, it's mine. Like that's one thing about our show too. Whenever we rank anything, like I'm not going for popular opinion. I'm not going for what most people would say. Like yeah, sometimes it coincides with what people think is like, the best game of the decade or like the best hairstyle in video games. But like at the end of the day, it's my list. Like I think doing it that way also invites conversation. I hope people like hear my list and they could tell me where I'm wrong. Like please reach out, like tell us. We're on all the social media sites. Like reach out, tell us if we're wrong or if you think something else should be on there. Like we love to hear from people.
And I'm not going to ruin it in case anybody wants to listen to it, but the greatest villains in video game history, like that honorable mention, I was in the store and like putting I was putting like product on the shelves in a store and I lost it. I started like laughing maniacally like the Joker in the aisle of the grocery store and just it was great.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that, dude. Yeah, it was funny. I won't spoil like who it was, but all three of us had the same pick, which blew my mind, dude. Blew my mind.
Now, I'm not a day one listener. I'd say I started... I don't know how long I've been in, but I've listened to, like, a majority. I've listened to, like, multiple dozens of your episodes, and as far as I know, sometimes you'll have, like you and Brian will agree on, like, number one. Like, everyone agrees, like, yes, okay, this is the best thing. But I don't think I've ever seen the two of you and a guest all agree on something so early in the episode. Because that's when, like, lists get kind of... I don't want to say... Like, they get more subjective. Like, a lot of times, there might be, like, a clear number one, but, like, that 10 through 5 space, it can go either way. So the fact that all of you shared it, I loved it.
Yeah, no, it was pretty wild. And, like, most of the time, even if we have a similar entry, it's never in the same place, But, that was a memorable moment for sure, dude. Yeah. I appreciate you listening, though, dude. Yeah. Thanks.
Now, okay, I mixed it, but before I try this... You had episode 100 the other day. And
yeah.
And when we were discussing when we were going to record this, it was originally going to be on Friday. And you were like, I'm recording an episode on Thursday and on Saturday. So are you up to like 103 now?
Well, no. So like 101 just aired today.
Okay.
And we're recording, I guess like, this is where the news you're going to have some breaking news right here, Mikey. Brian is having a baby.
Wow, really?
Yeah. So, his partner's having a baby.
Yes.
But yeah, so we're recording twice a week currently just to have some backlog episodes for when he's on paternity leave
Makes
from the
sense.
podcast. Yeah, for sure. So breaking news for the BDE show, man.
That's very exciting. I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna tweet that out. I'm gonna send it to TMZ. I'm gonna let everyone know.
Yeah. Oh yeah, so many people are interested. Man, but super happy for him. So that's why we're recording twice a week. Yeah. 101 dropped today, and we're doing can I shout out a giveaway we're doing on your show?
Go for it.
Yeah. So go to our pinned tweet. We're at listoff_podcast on Twitter, and go to our pinned tweet, and we're giving away $100 to the gaming platform of your choice. All you have to do is rate or review us on Spotify or Apple. So like, it's simple on Spotify. You just like click a button for however many stars you want to give us. I'm not even telling you have to give us 5 stars. Like you can do whatever you want. I don't want to like buy people's opinion. Like give us a fair opinion and we'll do our best to improve. But it's really easy, man. Yeah. I mean, I'm surprised. It sucks. Nobody's doing it. We have like 20 entries and I'm like, Jesus Christ, people, we're trying to give someone money and like
$100.
Right? It's like I'm not giving away like a game. I'm giving away a game and a half. Like do this. Or if you want it for Steam, it could be like 50 games.
Yeah, exactly.
Like I'm trying to do this. Like let make it happen.
But so I mixed the drink. You're right. It did change colors. It kind of looks like a blood red in this.
Yeah.
I was about to say I have a clear
crimson
mixer.
Even.
Yeah.
Crimson.
Oh, that's smart. I bet they did that on purpose. It's definitely crimson. It's a dark red.
Yeah.
But
all right, we can do this?
Yes.
Wow.
Do you know cheers in any languages besides English?
Slanta? What is it in Irish?
Yes, slancha.
Gaelic,
yeah,
slancha,
Gaelic.
And then there's oh shoot, man, I know German. I can't think of it though. Prost.
Okay.
That's not German. That's Russian, maybe. I don't know.
Okay, your call. Slancha or Prost? Which one you want to do?
Let's do slancha.
Okay, cool. Slancha.
Slancha. Here we go. Oh shit. Pretty good, actually.
Yeah. It's much stronger than I anticipated after smelling that. Just like the flavor definitely comes through. I like it.
Yeah, but it's not like overwhelmingly strong. That's cool because like the last energy drink I had was like, what?
Yeah.
Like you taste it and it's like, oh, this is like an overload.
And one of the
This
things,
is not an overload.
yeah, one of the things I like about the powdered energy drinks is because you mix it with water, it doesn't have like that battery acid taste like Monster or Red Bull will have. It's like
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd go as far as smooth, but it's like it's easier to drink. You don't it doesn't taste like an energy drink.
Yeah, no, it is. I'd say it's smoother for sure because the last energy drink I had was like a canned carbonated
Yeah.
one, and it does have that like very specific like tang to it. I don't know if that's a result of the can or the carbonation, but I agree. Yeah, I do drink Red Bulls, and I think I'm gonna stop. Not that I drink them regularly, but if I get an energy drink, it's kind of like the one I go for.
Yeah.
Because I like what they do. They do all those cool like boxcar competitions and like
Oh, yeah,
flying
yeah, yeah.
contraption competitions and stuff. But yeah, it just doesn't have a good flavor to it, you know. This has a very good flavor though.
And for the listeners at home, if you buy a tub of this, it's for I think this was like $35 or something like that. But it comes with 40 servings, so yes, it's more expensive than a single can of Red Bull. But it literally comes out to be like 70 cents a serving or something. So it's a great deal, and it'll like. I don't even drink energy drinks like every day. But let argument's sake, if you drink an energy drink every day, this will last you more than a month. This is like a good deal.
It's a super good deal. So do they ever do sales?
They do sales. So you know how when your drink got delayed and they sent you, sorry, here's like a 10% off discount code.
Yeah.
I try to use that code in conjunction with a buy one get one sale that they were doing, and they're like, no, you can only use one promo at a time. But GFuel, weirdly enough, has an app. You can download it on your phone, and then it'll shoot you like a doot update when there's like a sale coming up.
Dude, I already get emails from them. Like that's quite enough.
Yeah.
Quite enough. They do it ever since I bought this. They've been sending me emails constantly, like, "Hey, we got a new flavor. It's called like Sonic 2, Movie Blue, or something." And yeah, I'm not interested. This is the first time I've opened this, and I've had it since like the beginning of May. So,
Here we
but
go.
I was saving it for your show, dude.
I've been saving it for my show too. I appreciate that. I always my co-host couldn't make it.
That's all right.
I was gonna say I don't think he had the Elden Ring one, but I would.
I'm the co-host now, bro.
Yeah, you're the. I'm kicking Alex. I'm kicking Alex
Take
off.
it over.
Welcome
No.
to BDE with Mikey and Ryan.
That's right. Now I'm hooked. Energy drinks all the time.
But yeah, so I'm on the G Fuel website, and right now Memorial Day, buy one get one sale. So now's your chance if you want to buy more.
Look at that BOGO, man. That's like a really good deal, though, when you think about it. I mean, if you were to get 2 40-serving drinks of your choice, then yeah, for like $35, you're getting a ton of energy drink, more than I would drink in like a year.
Yeah.
Although I don't know if this hits right, and I feel like super hyper focused, I might start playing video games and streaming and like getting the little mini fridge in my background, you know, doing all that.
I don't know if G Fuel does it, but there's another powdered energy drink, Glitch. It's where my shaker's from. They have gaming limitless pills where it makes your brain work faster so you can game harder.
Dude, so I know you're a little bit younger than me. Do you remember like Stacker 2s?
Yeah.
Okay, so this stuff reminds me of like Stacker 2s.
Okay.
When you start getting into like gaming pills. I just can't help but think like those like energy pills from, you know, the early 2000s where like, oh crap, I need to stay up all night to study for an exam. Let me just pop some Stacker 2s and like, I don't know, there's something different about like taking a mixed drink and popping a pill. Like to me it's a different feel, you know. I'd rather have this personally.
I have a tub of the gaming pills and I still have not opened them yet. I don't know when my gaming would need to be intense enough that I need to take a limitless pill to open the third eye in my mind to play better. I just like What?
It would be like that.
Yeah.
You'd be like Bradley Cooper in that movie. Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah,
Take over the world.
Like,
The next Elon Musk.
like I'm just playing Sly Cooper right now. Do I really need a third eye to like pickpocket people better? Just like I'm playing a children's
Right.
game. It's fine.
You know, it's funny though. Like I recently got a PS Classic and I hacked it, and I was playing Einhander, which is like this kind of 2.5D side-scrolling shoot 'em up from the PS1 era. Super good game if everybody wants to play it. But I was doing really poorly because it's a lot. It's like bullet hell and there's a ton going on and really like quick reaction time. That's the type of game I need my third eye for. So like that's the type of game I might pop a pill for. You know what I mean?
Well, here's a shameless plug. If you want to buy the gaming pills, or if you want to buy your own glitch shaker, if you don't like the Elden Ring shaker, go to glitch.com and use promo code BDEPOD to save 10% at checkout.
Sponsored. Hey, I'm happy for you, man. Like that is cool, dude. Like securing sponsors, you know?
No one has used the sponsor code yet. I believe we get something like a tenth of a penny for every sponsor code that's used, and my bank account is $0. Not even
That's all right, man.
Not even I have bought anything with that sponsor code yet. I don't think anyone's going to use it. I just like throwing it out there that we have it. Just like, look at this.
Yeah.
We're sponsored.
Check us out. Yeah. Right. Did I mention we're sponsored?
Yeah.
I might have to use it now. Get you that tenth of a penny, man.
Ryan, how many sponsors does Listoff have?
We have no sponsors.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, I know. We know who the superior podcast is here, Mikey. Like, you don't have to rub it in, dude. Okay?
I'll always remember the little people, and I'll always invite people back who helped me grow up together. So I won't forget you when I'm the Joe Rogan of energy drinks.
I appreciate that, man. That really means a lot. I hope it rings true. But no, honestly, like we're kind of, so I actually want to talk about podcasting a little bit. If
Lay
we
it
can
on
get
me.
a little meta. So like, we won't be sponsored. I can't see that we will ever be. There are like options out there, but like for the pittance we would get, it's kind of like, I don't think it would alienate any of our listeners. Like, I don't think they'd totally be like, oh, dude, like, I don't want to hear advertisements on your podcast. I feel like being someone who listens to podcasts, you're just like, yeah, you understand that's a part of it. But like, dude, people don't offer us like money, like good money, you know what I mean? And it's like, I'm not going to like shell your product that I don't necessarily use for like nothing, you know? Anyway, that's my personal feelings on the matter.
Oh, I totally agree with you. This isn't even, it's not a sponsorship, it's a partnership. If you want to, you could sign up for Glitch. They literally don't turn anyone away. You put your email in, and then if you want, like when you on Twitch, when you stream, if you want to just put a little promo code on the bottom, like it makes money for them. They literally don't turn anyone away. So it's not a real sponsorship. But
no.
Yeah.
And I'm not judging you. Like if somebody was like, we'll give you free video games, then yeah, you're my sponsor, dude. You know?
I was about to, Craig left. It's okay. We don't need Craig. But I was about to say I was going to give myself flack for it because, I'm not going to say who. I'm going to throw a different podcast out of the bus. It's like an indie podcast. It's like someone who's like doesn't have the check mark on Twitter. And only recently did they probably click yes, I want sponsors on Anchor, and I'm listening to them. And for the first time in like the year and a half I've been listening to them, it opens up with like an advertisement for like a dick pill. I was like, God damn it. Like, I'm happy you guys are getting that dick pill money, but I don't want ads in my indie podcasts.
Right. And that's what I'm saying. Like that I would not do. Like,
No.
First of all, like how much you going to pay me? And like, second of all, like, why would I promote something I don't use?
Yeah.
Oh, no, I'm kidding. But like, yeah, it's one of those things that I don't think it fits with what we're trying to make, right?
Yeah,
so
definitely.
if it was, you're an energy drink podcast, dude.
Yeah.
To have an energy drink sponsor, like, hell yeah, that makes sense. But like, we're a video game podcast, so if it's something not video game related, then like, no, we're really not going to like try to push it on people. But like, yeah, so what do you think of podcasting? Like, how do you feel about podcasting personally? Because you do it. Rarely, but you
Rarely,
do.
I do it. I was going to say, you may or may not be on the finale episode of BD. Who knows?
Okay.
But
All right, cool.
so like podcasting, like we started this. Me and my co-host Alex, we used to work together. So it was an excuse. Like we used to record in the office Fridays after everybody left. It was an excuse like to hang out. And then when we started doing remote, and like we have like Twitter followers now, which is like a thing. We used to like just put it on YouTube. We had no Twitter, we had no social media. It was just like we did this for the sake of doing it. But now that we have like actual listeners, I feel like there's a certain degree of like legitimacy that we need to like hold ourselves to.
Yeah.
Which is cool because we're like, I don't want to say legit, but like we're more legit than we were. But at the same time, I feel like it's putting a certain like degree of expectation on there, which I never expected to have. I just thought this was like a fun thing to do. But now that there's like people wanting it, I don't want to say an obligation, but I feel like I can't let them down. Like if I'm going to put something out, I want to make sure it's a half decent episode. So like,
Yeah.
and like I started doing it because it was fun for me. But now it's transitioned to I want to make sure the listeners can get the best experience that they can listen to, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, yeah, there's kind of a curve there because same, when we started out, it was just like, hey, we don't know what we're doing. I didn't even edit. It was just like, here's what we recorded. Enjoy it. You know, I put like intro music in and that was it. And then, yeah, we started really noticing that we had listeners and it was like, oh crap, like what are these people going to want to hear? But now I think we're reaching the point, we're at like 2 years in now and we're starting to get to this point where I'm like, I'm back to saying like, it's our show. Like, no, and no offense, we love that people choose to listen, but I think sometimes those restraints, right? Like you're saying, like there are expectations that you have to meet now. And I felt the same way, but I think a lot of that is self-imposed, and I don't think listeners necessarily have that. Like, they just want to enjoy whatever topic you're discussing, right? And maybe that's not the case. Maybe we'll lose listeners, but I do think we're going to start opening list off up to other topics outside of gaming, which we've never done before. Yeah, I think we'll remain predominantly gaming, but like, why not? Like, there are no rules here, right? Like, there's no rules to what we can do. And like, I think a lot of these, like I said, these expectations were self-imposed. Like I put them on myself of what other people wanted the show to be. And like realistically, like it's awesome people want to listen, but at the end of the day, I want to put out what I want to put out.
Yeah,
right?
definitely. Now, if you,
yeah, like I tried to stay away from certain things for a while, like politics or how I personally feel on matters. And now it's like, no, I want to express that more. Like, I think it's important that people know where I stand on certain things, and like you can listen or you can't. That's totally up to you. Like, you know, no sweat off my back, man.
Okay, so now that you're transitioning out of video games, couple ideas. Top 5 topics besides video games you're going to cover on your show. It'll be like the first one. You're like, hey, done with video games. We're going to do blah, 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 blah. Now, you brought it up, not me. Politics. Top 5 politicians you want on your show.
Oh, wow.
And then
none.
And then top 5 punk bands that only real people with mohawks listen to and not posers.
Dude, I would do top 5 punk bands. You know I would, buddy. Man, I tried my damnedest to have a picture of my mohawk ready for this, actually. I like, yeah, seriously, I messaged like old high school friends and I was like, dude, are there any pictures in like the sophomore year yearbook with my mohawk, blah, 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 and couldn't find any. Like, I am so sad about that. Because I don't think a picture exists.
Really?
My mom wasn't taking pictures of me, you know, and I wasn't taking pictures of myself at that time. So like, yeah, I don't think a picture of my mohawk exists.
I forget what episode it was, but you said something along the lines of, I'm not punk anymore, but I used to be punk, with such conviction. I'm like, oh, that guy 100% used to be punk. So then like, I just like jokingly DM'd you like, did you used to have a mohawk? He's like, yeah, of course I had a mohawk. Just be
yeah, it was tall too, dude. Yeah, so I grew up in the Bay Area, and I used to go to like these like rugged underground shows at like the Gilman or like the Bomb Shelter in Berkeley, and like I used to go to and I was like a high school kid. I wasn't even 18, and I was taking BART to go to these shows and stuff with like a group of friends. Man, it was fun, dude. Yeah.
No, I was just
but like, it's not me anymore, man.
I was about to say you're a family man now. You're straight-laced.
That's right. Yeah, I cleaned up my act a little bit. But yeah, like as far as podcasting goes, right? Like, you know, I'm talking about expressing myself more. And I really want to bring this up. The other day I had a moment of clarity because I was recording our latest episode, and I'm literally like pouring my heart out about a topic that means a lot to me. And I realized, and then while I'm saying all this stuff, like really, really heartfelt stuff, it's like something clicks in my head, and I'm like, wait a minute, this is like an hour and a half into an episode about game delays. Like who's even listening right now? You know what I mean? At this point in the episode, it's at the very tail end, and like, what I'm saying was important to me, but it also clicked. Like, dude, most people have their opinions on game delays. I don't think some topics you think like, oh, people will want to hear this, right? I don't feel like that's a topic people would really want to hear about. They kind of know enough about game delays or have their own opinion of it and don't necessarily want to hear other people's opinion. So like, yeah, it was kind of like a little disappointing, that can happen, I think, in this world. Yeah, people ultimately like do you listen to entire podcasts? I do. I tend to. But I wonder how many people out there actually like once the list is over, are they done with it? Are they just like, okay, I don't want to hear what you have to recommend me outside of gaming,
So the thing with that is, and just like I think about this a lot with ours, because energy drinks, it's a much more like niche community than like having a video game podcast. So we've been recording, I think, for 35 minutes now. Of the 35 minutes, I'd say maybe 8 minutes were actually about the energy drink. The other 27 have just been us hanging out. Yeah. And the thing is, for my podcast at least, I guarantee no one is listening for the energy drinks. It's not like someone's like a caffeine monster, like, oh man, I need to hear the review of the new Red Bull flavor. Like, they come to hang out and listen to us banter because we have personalities. And like, if you were boring as like paint drying, I wouldn't listen to your show, but you're not boring. So I like you and Brian's personality. So like the lists, even if it's a list I couldn't care less about, I'm tuning in and listening because I like what you and Brian have to say. And I feel like that's what most of the listeners are looking for. Like there's so many video game podcasts out there that they could choose from, literal hundreds. But the fact that they're listening to you means I think they like you, just like.
Yeah, for sure. Well, yes, talk more about me, Mikey. No, I just think like, dude, you bring up a good point, and like that's the bottom line of all of this is like, holy shit, people want to listen to like me. First of all, listen to my damn voice. Like, who wants to hear this week in and week out? But like, that's what I'm saying, dude. Like, people get so caught up in numbers sometimes. I see it a lot. I see people talk about like, oh, my show's not doing as well as I want. And like, I get that. That shit ate me alive for a long time, dude. But like 2 years in, I'm really starting to not care about that. And it's kind of freeing. And it's also like, if we had 2 people listening to us, like that's 2 people that are choosing to hear us every week. Like, that's nuts. That's nuts.
I remember the first time we got 3 listeners that third one, like I always listen to it when it goes up on Spotify to make sure like it sounds good.
Right. Of course, yeah.
Same. Co-host would do the same thing. So when we got a third person who wasn't either of us, we're like, who is this stranger listening to this? And it's wild. But I don't want to big dog you or anything, but I just pulled up my stats and I'm chilling at a cool 7 million listens this month. So I don't know about you.
Yeah. No, not that many, man. I'll tell you that much.
We are the premier energy drink podcast. It's funny, we're not the only energy drink podcast. There's a bunch of other ones, but they'll do like 2 episodes and then stop.
Right.
So I don't know who you're hosted with, but we use Anchor, and on the Anchor like website, you can like type in a topic and see what other like podcasts are doing the same field. So I'll do that like maybe once every 2 months, and there's like 3 other energy drink podcasts, and I've sent them all messages like, hey, let's do an episode together. How many energy drink people are there?
Right.
And then, but it's not that they've ignored me. They just haven't had an episode in 4 months. So I think they've also given up. But I'm not the only one out there, funny enough. But I think we're the only one
there's
still
like
doing it.
There's some really like crappy people doing energy drink stuff out there.
Yeah, so the energy drink field, I don't know why. There's this weird machismo mentality where it's a lot of just like, I'm a manly man. They're kind of just like real, I don't know, like my partner, she just finished grad school with a degree in speech pathology. So
yeah,
I drive a truck. She has a master's. Wow. She has a master's in science. So of the 2 of us, she's the smart one. And she was telling me that there's like a study that a bunch of people, they took, argument's sake, 50 men and had them braid like a little girl's hair. And then 50 men and do the exact same motion, but they were braiding rope. The exact same thing, but one's rope, one's braiding hair. And the people braiding hair, they felt so emasculated that when they came out and they were given the option of water or like a monster, the people who did rope, they just grabbed the water, but the people who braided hair overwhelmingly went for a monster because that's more manly. They had to like get their masculinity back. And like there's just a whole bunch of like
weird, dude.
It's so weird. And there's a whole bunch of people like that in the energy drink world because for so long it was marketed towards this is extreme. It's not for babies. Real men drink this. And just like they've kind of just like saturated the market now.
Yeah.
But
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think that's so weird in general. Like, if anything, you're wearing your insecurity on your sleeve with stuff like that. Like, be a little more secure in your masculinity that you don't have to like immediately go out and prove it when you have to. Like, if I had a daughter and I had to braid her hair, I'd learn how to braid.
Yeah,
I'd make some really cool freaking braids. She'd be like a Viking warrior, you know. But I have a son. If he wanted me to braid his hair, I'd do it too.
Yeah,
like. Yeah, my son's favorite color is pink. Does that bother me in any way? Absolutely not. Yeah.
Like, one time I was talking to my partner's grandpa, and he said something, and my partner just makes a. He's like in his 70s. He's like an old Union man. He's like a real tough type of guy.
Right.
And he said,
salt of the earth.
Yeah, and he said something just like overly aggressive, and my partner just goes, something. Look out for his fragile masculinity. And he just responds, my masculinity is not fragile. It's real strong. It breaks things. And we're like, what does that even mean? Why is that your response? So what? But there's a lot of people like that in the energy drink field. But it is what it is.
That's like something Drax would say.
Yeah, exactly.
Like Guardians of the Galaxy or something, right? Yeah.
Like all of the CEOs for energy drink companies, they're essentially Drax, but without the comic relief.
Yeah, one of them that you got into a little. I don't know if we're allowed to talk about this.
Let's talk about it.
You like followed me on Twitter, and I'm like, I'm not following you back, dude. Like, I don't know what you think this is, but we're not friends.
So, for the listeners at home, I think we talked about this 2 episodes ago on Martin Luther King Day. To honor Martin Luther King, that CEO on Instagram had a post on how he would murder people protesting racial inequality, and I'm just like, what the fuck, man? How do you think this is an honoring post? So then, like, he blocked me, and then that was on Instagram. Yeah. And then that energy drink company, they forgot they had a Twitter. Just like their Twitter just sat dormant for months, and then one day they started posting again. And I will just like constantly like make fun of them on Twitter. But one of them, I think the tweet was literally, so we have a running gag earlier in the show where we were like, Bang energy drink is one of the worst energy drinks we've ever had. We'd always go, Bang is disgusting. Bang, sponsor us, is like a tongue-in-cheek thing. So we started doing that with Help Energy. Just like they said, they had like a really racist tweet too about like a Chinese fortune cookie and like how like a certain ethnic group was like causing COVID to take over the white people or some shit. I'm like,
oh my gosh, dude.
So I retweeted that with like a caption making fun of it, and then underneath it I was like, hey guys, let's work together. And then they go, sure thing, and sent me a DM. And I'm just like, what? They're like, give me your address. We'll send you stuff. So then at this point, I sent a DM. I took the screenshots. I sent a DM to my co-host. I was like, yo, how do you want to play this? And he was like, I vote we just tell them to, like, screw off to their face. I'm like, hear me out. We string them along. We take their product. We make them think that we're going to do a good episode. And then when we review it on mic, we have a whole episode where we just tear, like... I was going to move.
Yeah, man.
I was going to move my computer into the bathroom, and the episode would just me pouring it down the toilet. That was going to be the whole episode. But I think they caught on because they stopped responding to our DMs. But
plus, like, it is that question of like, is any publicity good publicity, right? Yeah. So I do, but like, to have them waste money sending you products just so you can pour it down the toilet, it's pretty cool.
That's what I was thinking. Just like argument's sake, if we could prevent that from going to like somewhere else where they would just like, let's support this racist company. Just like, we'll take it. Let's not give it to that person. We'll flush it down the toilet. But they stopped responding. I think they caught on. So whatever. We won't have them on the episode. If they're listening to this and they still want to send it to us, whatever. We'll still flush it down the toilet. We don't care.
Yeah. So it's funny though. Like it's incredible to me that businesses like that can stay relevant and stay in business. But like, it's so difficult to consume ethically in America. Like, think about, dude, this blew my mind. It made me so angry. I have a PS5. I love Sony first party games. Even in the last 2 years, I probably shelled out well over $1,000 to Sony, right, for their video
Yeah.
games. And like Jim Ryan comes out and says like, or it's leaked, like this email that he sent, and it's this like bigoted stuff. I'm not going to get into specifics, but it's about the Roe v. Wade being repealed, and like. I'm like, this is terrible. He's the CEO of the PlayStation division of Sony, if people don't know, and like, that's fine. Like, yes, that is the actions of one person, right? I can hold it against that one person. But then apparently, Insomniac, one of their studios, was trying to make an official tweet against what Jim Ryan said, and Sony stopped it. Sony said, like, no, you can't do this. And then at that point, it's like, what the hell, dude?
Yeah.
Like, am I supposed to not give Sony money anymore? Like, this sucks. I like Sony video games. But now I can't. I feel like I can't buy them.
Yeah.
And it's so shitty, dude. Like this energy drink guy, how does he stay in business? It's because people tune themselves out to this stuff. They stop caring. They care more about the product they are receiving than the people behind that product. And like, at some point we have to draw the line.
Yeah.
You know?
And like I drew the line there. I'm not supporting that energy drink company. There's a couple energy drink companies that like there was like Bang. We used to end every episode with a segment called Back to the Bang because it's the worst energy drink we've ever had. We would make the guests try to like, haha, look how bad it is. But then he had a whole bunch of just like pandemic stuff, like when COVID happened, just like he was like trying to blame people and like spreading misinformation. And we're just like, dude. There's so many companies we could be supporting. We don't want to give you money literally as a joke segment. So there's quite a few companies that we don't support. But then at the same time, like for that Sony thing where like Insomniac wanted to say something, let's say you bought a new Insomniac game. Yes, some money goes to Sony, but is it fair that the guy working on like a texture packet for Insomniac, like, if we don't support them, Insomniac might go out of business, and then that low totem pole guy's out of a job type deal. Just like, how do you support the little people without like giving money to the big people? And like, that's a difficult question that I don't think either of us have the answer to.
No, I don't. I definitely don't. But I do think like being a first party studio, your job security and salary isn't as dependent on game sales as like an independent studio.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree. It is crappy. That whole same thing happened with Activision Blizzard, right? Like I personally refuse to buy their stuff. I think their whole, oh well, how are the developers going to make a living? It's an argument to be made, but also I think like I don't know if I were in that situation. Like, yeah, it sucks. A lot of people apparently like rooted up their lives and moved to different states for these jobs. And it's easy for me to sit back and say like, well, just go get a job developing for another company. But I do understand it's not that simple when you have family and stuff like that. But personally, I can't justify, giving money to a company that endorses that sort of culture.
Yeah.
Right. Or did for so long. Yeah. But anyway, man, video games are tricky nowadays.
Video games are real tricky.
Because we have such an insight into these industries that was never there before. Think of like the 80s, dude, like at the height of consumerism. Yeah. It was like nobody gave a shit how this stuff got to our hands. Like nobody cared. Sweatshops, whatever. Nobody cared. And now we have exposés. We have just these lights shined in places that they were never shined before. And it's like, oh, damn, like everything is dirty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it
sucks.
It's one of those things where like I think about this a lot. Okay, I think we should you want to start a new podcast where we just talk about the economy and politics? It seems like we both know what we're talking about here, but
I wouldn't go that far. I know enough to have my opinion, and I'm sure people know more than I do.
Like I was thinking the other day, where, not necessarily do we as a people, but like where would I draw the line of, okay, that's like shitty behavior, I don't want to endorse that, but then like that's like in putting like a whole set of like morals on other people, at which point maybe I'm okay with something and other people aren't okay with that. And just like, I feel like I have to like, at some point, I'm just going to rule out every company because all companies must do something bad at some point. At which point, where do I then shop if I'm like, I don't go X, Y, and Z? Those are all the stores.
Your
type
local
deal.
farmer's market.
I
Yeah.
I went to this thing called the Night Fair last night, and it's kind of like a farmer's market meets art fair. It's like an hour north of me. It's in the middle of a farm, and they set it up on new moons and full moons. It's kind of just like
Oh,
it's just like all like local artists just like doing stuff and like selling stuff, and it was like cool, and like it surprisingly wasn't that expensive, which a lot of times like when you go to these type of markets, because they're not mass
right.
producing them, it's a little bit more expensive. So I was
Mhm.
very happy to support like these local artists and like markets and stuff. I got two really cool patches for my denim vest, and just like
Nice.
yeah, and just like they were only like $10, which is like perfect. I'll spend $10 on a patch. I was expecting to be like 30 or something. Like
Yeah.
I may not have a mohawk, but I don't think I'm out of my punk phase yet. So I still have like a
Oh
patched up
man,
vest with like bands and stuff on it. But
look, the mohawk doesn't make you punk rock. I think definitely the patched up jacket or vest does for sure. Uh, that's cool though.
yeah,
If we're telling farmers market stories, I know we're segueing to a few different topics here. Yeah, yesterday I went to the local farmers market and this dude had like all his produce stand and he was handing out samples of cantaloupe and he's like offers my son one and he eats it and he's like yum and the guy's like oh here you go and hands him a free cantaloupe.
really, that's
Yeah,
nice.
so my son being 3, he's like I want a watermelon and the dude's like oh and hands me a watermelon. He's like here you go. And I'm like, what? Like, okay, how much do we owe you? He's like, no, just take it. And I was like, what do you mean just take it, dude? Like, like we have to pay something. And he's like, no, it's fine. Don't worry about it. So my son goes into the stand and starts grabbing tomatoes and eating them. Like, oh, this food's mine now? Like, cool. So he just walks right up, starts like eating these little cherry tomatoes. And I'm like, well, we'll buy the tomatoes. And we ended up getting a ton of produce.
Yeah,
And I go up to the guy and he's like, oh, this is that much. It's 11.50. And I'm like, all right, well, why don't we just like round up to 15 since you gave me the melons for free? And he was like, well, we'll just make it 11. I'm like, what? Like, okay, sure, dude. Like, cool story, I think,
yeah.
because like, man, see, like there are generous, good people out there. So yeah,
And
shop your local farmers market.
and now I'm sure the next time you go to that farmer's market, you'll get your watermelons from that stand again, as compared to somewhere else. You know?
Absolutely.
Of
Like
course.
my wife and I were walking away and we're like, he just made customers for life. Like that's where we're getting our produce from now on, because yeah, and it's smart for him because yeah, we're coming back from
Yeah.
every weekend from here on out for sure.
It's like one of those
Yeah.
things. He lost like $5 this weekend, but he'll make like another 30 for the next however
Right.
many months he's around. You know? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So you want to bring it back to video games?
Let's do it.
All right. So what are your favorite video games, man? Like do you have a
Ooh.
favorite series?
Yes, favorite series probably Legend of Zelda. I if I had
Yeah.
to rank top 5 games of all time for me, 1 and 2 are both Zelda games. So
Okay.
it's
Wow.
Ocarina of Time, Breath of the Wild.
My man.
Yeah, and so then
Yeah, that's some great picks.
I think it's only fair that I have Zelda as like my number 1 series, and then after that I'm kind of I was thinking about this the other day. I think it's tough to make a top 10. I have like those top 2, and then everything else can kind of just like fluctuate from like anywhere from like 3 to 10 type,
Absolutely.
depending how I feel.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I really like Portal 2. I really like Shovel Knight. I think that's a fun little game. I like Shining Force. I like Super Smash Brothers Melee. There's a like if I had to sit down and make a top 10, it might take me like an hour, but I could probably get like a top 10 at some point. But I probably go Ocarina, Breath of the Wild, Portal 2 as the top 3. That much I'm secure on. Everything else I'll have to figure out.
No, I get that. It's tough, right? Like it fluctuates, depends on the mood. I feel that every time we make a list, it's if you asked me the next day, it'd be different. Yeah, things change, opinions change for sure.
Now, have you done an episode on your favorite games, or is that too broad of a subject to do?
No, we've talked about it. So we've talked about doing like our top 10 games and then updating it every 6 months or
Oh,
so,
yeah.
because it does fluctuate and sometimes like recency bias does play into it, right? Like you're loving the game that you're currently playing, but it doesn't necessarily stand the test of time. So we've talked about it, but we've never actually done it yet. Yeah.
If you had to top 5 recommend someone 5 list off episodes who's never listened to your show before,
My God.
what 5 would you give them to get them hooked?
I have no idea. I literally have no idea. Like, yeah, this is so unexpected. So I will say our episode 100, I'm really proud of because we definitely like uh shot way above our league there.
Nice.
We ended up getting a senior producer from 2K Games on the show.
Hmm.
And that's just like the first person in the gaming industry that we've ever had on. And the fact that he was like instrumental in the release of the upcoming supermassive game The Quarry, and yeah, it was an incredible experience having someone of that caliber on the show. So that was our top 5 Nintendo Power volumes with Stefan Reese. I would recommend that. He was telling some stories that were just bonkers, dude. His best man, I can't see it.
You can't see. I have your podcast pulled up. I'm looking at episodes.
Yeah, his best man was the co-creator of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Kevin Eastman.
Really?
I was like, yeah, he said that, and like it. I mean, in the video version, you'll see I have like a very visible reaction to it. I could not believe what he just said. I was like, wait, what? Go back to that. Geez, man. Aside from that, I think just find a topic that interests you. It's so hard for me to lock one down. I think we did a good one on top gaming conspiracy theories.
That was a good one. I think that was one of the first episodes I listened to. That was a good one.
Nice. I had fun doing that one. I will say our earlier episodes, the audio quality is not as great because we didn't know what we were doing, but it's much better now. So yeah, anything from like the last year and a half, you should enjoy if you like the topic. We did worst box arts. I think that was a fun one.
You had worst box art. I also really liked your best box art because you. I forget the name of it.
Weapon Lord.
Weapon.
It's Weapon Lord, baby.
I was gonna say Weapon Master, but yeah. So Kevin Eastman and Weapon Lord artist, what's his name?
Simon Bisley.
They made a video game together.
Yeah. You had taken a picture of it, right?
The heavy metal game. It was like the guy who did Ninja Turtles and Simon Bisley, and it's just like the wackiest 3D fighting game. It's just a whole bunch of like buff people from the future.
Beefy dudes.
And
man.
And they have no weapons, but there's like kind of like Mario style question mark boxes around the arena, and you have to go find weapons, and then it's just like it's like a fighting game. It's fun. It's a little wonky because it's from like 99 or something, but it's fun.
Right. Yeah, I'll have to try it. I remember you sharing that on Twitter and me being like, oh my gosh, I have to get my hands on this. Can't remember the name of it though. But yeah, we basically do lists with guests. It's shorter lists. And then every month we do like a mission report where it just offers us an opportunity to talk about something gaming related that's not a list. So the one that dropped today was about game delays, as I mentioned earlier. And like, if you want to hear me pour my heart out at the end of the episode, stick around, man. It'd be great. But I don't know. It's tough for me to lock down 5. I know Brian always says the top 10 soundtracks.
Okay.
But every time he says that, I want to redo that episode. Because like, there's so many good gaming soundtracks out there, and I feel like some made my list that like would be supplanted now. You know.
I am a big fan of the Red Dead Redemption soundtrack.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
I have a little bit of a cowboy fantasy where like every now and again I'll just not like modern country music, but just like real old school like cowboy vibes. I'll just like put that on and just like drive around town. Just like, man, I wish I was on a ranch right now, type of deal. Just
right. You got like a bandana around your neck and some chewing tobacco.
Yeah, so like I'd probably, I know me. I feel like I'm not physical enough to be a farmhand for my whole life, but back in the day, I feel like I'd like to be a cowboy.
Yeah. I mean, it's a hard life, you know.
Yeah, I know.
I say that like I'm talking about like experience, tough life, buddy. I don't know if you want this, partner.
No,
I was not a cowboy.
I'd probably be like one of those. I don't want to say uppity, but the type of kids that like the farm hands would make fun of. I might like work in like the pharmacy, like behind a counter or something, and like the cowboy rides into town once a week to get his molasses or something. Like gives me shit for not working a day in my life. Type of. That's probably what I'd end up doing. But I'd like to be a cowboy.
Yeah, I think it's an interesting time in American history for sure. Like, I don't think I'd like to be a cowboy though. Maybe a proprietor of some sort of store or something. I don't know.
And you can own the pharmacy that I work behind the counter at.
There you go. Or a bar,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
So I'm looking at your podcast here. I feel like we've talked about this quite a bit. Do you have anything you want to plug besides your podcast? Anything just like mission debrief time? Anything you're enjoying you want to shout out?
So yeah, I watched the first 2 episodes of Kenobi. Mm-hmm. Did you watch them?
I've watched the first one so far.
Okay, yeah. So it's I thought the way the first one started, right? That recap that they do of the prequels, it's incredibly well edited because it somehow makes the prequels look phenomenal.
I thought the same thing.
Yeah, I was like, man, like this is really making me want prequels, and that's something I never thought I would say.
Yeah.
Because they don't include in that recap any of the cheesy lines, right? Any of like the poorly delivered lines or bad acting. It is all like the good parts of the prequels in that little recap. And yeah, I think that was very, very smartly done by Disney. And then the way it started out too, like right off the bat, it was, oh man, this is super cool. Like I really, really enjoyed that. But man, it has some parts that are just so cheesy, dude. So cheesy. I don't know if it was in episode 1 or 2, but there are some, like, it's a good show. I am enjoying it. I really want to see more. I enjoy the cheesiness of Star Wars too at times. I'm not like, oh, let's get this out of my Star Wars. Like, that's ridiculous. Star Wars was always corny, and like it's been about kids for the majority of its tenure. So I think like including some of that stuff in the show is fine. Like they do enough to counterbalance that with some of the more serious parts. But I can't wait to see more, dude. It's just so good to see Obi-Wan Kenobi on the screen. He is my favorite Jedi.
Yeah.
Always has been. And like my son's middle name is Kenobi.
Is it really?
It really is. Yeah. So like I hope they don't make him like I hope they do the character justice is all I'm saying, right?
In the first episode, I think the cheesiest part was when the 3 guys were chasing Leia through the woods. I thought
that's what I was referring to.
She's like a child. There's like 3 adults and like they can't catch up to her. And like at one point, one of them just like runs into a branch and goes, "Oh, it's a branch." I know.
Like doesn't even duck, dude. Just like checks the branch and like, oh, how'd this get here? It's like what?
Like that.
And then there's I was sitting next to my wife and like we're watching it and that whole first part where there are no branches in the way.
Yeah.
And the person's behind her, like running like all bow-legged. It's like
the green guy who's.
I turned to my wife and I'm like, "Get that girl! Like she is 10 feet ahead of you. She's running 2 miles per hour. Like grab that child now." You know.
You're an adult. She is 6. Just catch her.
Right. It was that was rough. But like that's the sort of cheesiness I'm talking about. Like it's fine, right? It was fine, but it was almost too much.
I'm just saying.
So they do this thing too, where like, I guess you said the name of the person they're chasing, right? Like,
yes,
you did. Yeah,
I don't think it's a spoiler. It happens like in the first 20 minutes. It's kind of like it's the premise of the show. Like that's like the inciting incident. But yeah, it's Leia, but as a child.
Yeah, I think that they overdid that character a little too much as well, because you'll see in the second episode, and it is like every time they have child Leia on camera, it's like, I am a plucky kid. Like, look at all this smart ass stuff I say, and like I have a mind of my own. And it's like, yeah, we get it, and it's good, it's fine. Like I said, I'm enjoying the show. I'm not like, but it does get to be a bit much, you know.
I hate child actors in general. I think maybe I can count the number of like good child performances I've seen on like one hand. So like I was expecting her to be a little obnoxious, so I wasn't terribly surprised. But just like I don't like kids.
Oh, okay. There you go.
Not necessarily just like I don't like kids in movies. I feel like a lot of times like child actors, they're just like because they don't necessarily know how to act because they're kids, so it's a lot of just like, I'm just gonna make my personality bigger because this is acting when I'm 6 type deal. It's like, pipe down, child. There's adults acting here type of deal.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Like it's fine, but I also think, man, if my kid talked back to me that much, like it wouldn't happen. I don't ever hit my kid or anything like that, but like I sit him down and talk to him and like. Yeah. Like, there's no way a kid gets to that age and talks back that
Yeah.
much, right? Like, there's no way, because it's like every single thing out of her mouth is like, yeah, just attitude.
Well, she's a spunky princess. I don't know what you expected.
Oh, yeah, that's true. That's true. It's very apparent. It's very
Yeah.
apparent.
But my mission debrief. I'm just straight up stealing your show now. My mission debrief. I'm also watching a show. I watched a little bit of Obi-Wan, but I've been putting my time into the new Stranger Things season more than Obi-Wan.
Oh, yeah.
I'm one episode into Obi-Wan, and I think 4 into Stranger Things, and I'm really enjoying this season of Stranger Things. I think it's
Okay.
the best one maybe since the first season. I don't know if you've seen any of it, but it's like it's good.
I watched the first episode. Yeah, I watched the first episode.
I'm enjoying it. It's fun. It's also like dark and creepy more so than the rest of the seasons, which I enjoy.
Yeah, it's fine. I don't. I look. I like Stranger Things, and I'm interested to see where it goes. But man, they have that one D&D character.
Yeah.
Where like I'm like, first of all, is this guy 40?
Well, he had to repeat high school. Like he's like a
Right,
fifth year
I get-
senior.
yeah. Right. But then he like has that scene in the lunchroom where he like all but gets up on a table and sings and dances, and
Yeah.
I'm just like, people don't do this. Like, I guess it's cool. Like, they're not going for realism, right? These are supposed to be like exaggerations of
Yeah.
certain like character types. But yeah, I thought that was a bit much. Like, but it's good. Like, definitely ended well that first episode did. I'm going to see more. It's just I just started that last night, so I haven't had an opportunity to see more of it.
Yeah, like Obi-Wan came out. That had the priority for you. I get that.
For sure. Yeah. Plus, I'm watching Our Flag Means Death on
okay.
HBO Max.
Is that good? I heard it was funny.
It's good. It's funny. It's
Okay.
very like corny funny, but it is adorable and sweet and like in ways I didn't expect. I am really enjoying the show. Made it through the entire first season, and I can't wait to see what they do in the second one. But yeah, the first season's really good. Definitely like endearing. A very endearing show.
That's the pirate show, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, okay,
but
yeah.
it's like yeah. It's not. I mean, it's a pirate show, but he is like Steed Bonnet is the main character, who is an actual pirate. But he is the gentleman pirate. He's a bit of a dandy, and it's great. But it's so good. It's so good. Yeah, I would recommend watching it if you're in for a laugh and like
Okay.
a surprisingly endearing show.
Nice. I will definitely add that to my list. But I straight up stole your segment of Mission Debrief. I'm just going to go ahead and use it every episode henceforth. Slowly but surely, I'm just going to become List Off 2.
It's all good. You could just name it something else because, full disclosure, we were not the first people to come up with the idea of like recommending something to our listeners at the end of our show. We just named it our own thing. So it's yours. It's yours if you want it.
Give us like 2 more episodes, and we'll probably just like redo the logo and change the name to like List In or something, and just we'll do top 5 episodes. List Off didn't do well that we're gonna redo, and then just list those.
You wouldn't be the first list off to come after us.
Really?
There have been there have been other list offs. We have outlived them both though.
Nice,
So,
good. Only the strong will survive. I'm glad for you.
yeah, I mean, and like honestly, every time it happens, I'm like, maybe we should collaborate with these guys. It's not a competition, you know. I could genuinely see like maybe they didn't know we existed and wanted to do their own thing. Like it's fine. I'm not offended. If anything, if in some way we were an inspiration, then I'm flattered.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
But I don't think it's the case. I just think it's like happenstance, you know.
Yeah, just like lift off, list off. It's just like it's like a word pun. I can see how other people came up with that idea without necessarily like trying to steal your show.
Right.
I was going to say Big Drink Energy. I also don't think we're the only podcast with that name. It's just like a common, just like people do it, but they review like it's like a sports thing.
Yeah.
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 Whatever.
No, it's good. Dude, your name is hilarious. Hilarious.
Yeah.
Like I won't tell you what came up on Twitter when I typed in BDE trying to find your podcast,
Yeah.
but I'm sure you can imagine what came up.
But I feel like I've held up enough of your time. We've been here for a little bit over an hour. Do you have anything you want to? Oh, okay. Before we get to plugs, this is a new segment I want to do for season 2, and I always forget because it's a new segment. If you were in charge of an energy drink company, you're your own CEO. What would you name the company, and what would your signature flavor be?
Oh man. I don't know. This is unexpected. You should have given me this ahead of time, Mikey. You should have given me some clue this is going to occur. What would I name the company? Uh, I mean, why not Liftoff?
Okay.
Right? Like, why not?
Yeah.
Right? It can't be Listoff because that's stupid and makes no sense. But it could be Liftoff because, like, that's what you want energy drinks to do, right? And my flavor would be like, I don't know, like Hubble Bubble, and it could be like bubblegum flavored.
Okay.
Or like if we're thinking space, like, I don't know, like a creamier one that's called just like Milky Way.
Oh, okay.
Although that's, like space themes, right?
Yeah,
like,
I can
do
dig
some
it.
really cool packaging with that too.
I was about to say one of my favorite packaging. It's a 7-Eleven specific energy drink, and it's like astronaut themed. I'm trying to remember the name of it, but instead of looking like an astronaut, their mascot is like an old school scuba diver with like the big dome head and like
cool.
the air pipe coming out.
Yeah.
But it's like him like floating in space, and I think they have like a really cool graphic design like that.
That is cool. That is pretty cool. Yeah. There could be like Alpha Centauri apple and apple flavored. What else do you want? I should make this company at this point.
You should. And also, you said, "Oh, I don't know anything. You should have given this to me ahead of time." And you just gave me 3 flavors that I would 100% like drink day one. So,
Oh, very cool. Very cool. Thanks, man. I'm telling you, this company's happening now.
Yeah.
You can't fight it.
so that was your energy drink company. Go ahead and plug whatever you want to plug. Give us your podcast Twitter. Tell us your name. If there's any podcasts you want to say not to listen to and listen to you instead. If you want to make enemies, we're here for that. Just the floor is yours.
I don't want to make enemies. I love many podcasts out there, so I have nothing bad to say about any of them. But yeah, if you want to listen to mine, I'd be honored. Or ours, mine and Brian's. Brian's not here, so I'm saying mine. It's List Off Podcast. We're on any podcast app. You can Google us and find us. Just List Off Podcast, 3 words, including podcast. We're out on Instagram at List Off Podcast, on Twitter at listoff_podcast. We're also on TikTok at List Off Podcast. And yeah, like I said, you can tune in on any podcast app. And if you want to enter that giveaway, leave a rating or review and share it to our pinned tweet. We'd be honored. We'd be honored for sure. And I'm honored to be here, Mikey.
Yeah,
thank you so much for having me on. 7 million listeners. Oh my God.
Yeah,
I'm nervous.
I can only imagine with the crossover potential, we'll easily double that to 14. And I'm expecting most of those listeners to go over to you. So expect like an 8 million listener jump, for episode 102 coming up.
Yeah, I mean, if all of our listeners come here, you'll easily have 7.00000.
I'd like to go ahead and plug not entering his contest because I entered it, and the more people that enter it, the less chances I have of winning. So just don't do it. Okay, so I'll compromise with you. Rate them 5 stars, but don't submit a screenshot.
There you go. Yeah.
It's a win-win for both of us. And,
Definitely.
If you made it this far, I appreciate you listening. You can find us at BDE Pod on Twitter. I think it's been so long since we've done this. I forgot my Twitter handle. I think it's BDE Pod. I'm going to look it up right now. Yeah, BDE Pod. I got that right. You can follow me at Mikey Tabletop if you want. Today I posted a picture of my dogs on the podcast account instead of my personal account on accident. So just like I use both.
I saw that. I liked it.
Yeah, I use both of them fairly frequently. I'm trying to use my personal account more, but it's on the same phone. So sometimes I won't realize I'll post that. But follow me on either account. I'm active on both. It's fun. Yeah, if there's nothing else, I want to say thanks for coming on. I had a blast. Just like this was the least energy drink focused podcast that we've had, but all of our episodes are like that. Like episode 1 literally has like a dog shitting on the floor mid episode. We don't stop recording. We stop talking and like have to handle that. So like from day 1, our podcasts have only ever been tangentially energy drink related. So it was fun just like hanging out and talking with you. I appreciate this.
Yeah, man, for sure. It was a good time. Thank you.
Of course. I'm gonna go ahead and make this now. You heard it here first, folks. I'm boycotting Listoff until I'm a guest. You will be. You will be a guest.
I
was going to say, you've been telling me for months now I'll be a guest, and here we are. Still not a guest yet. So
Well, we went back to having one guest a month. So it's obviously going to take some time. We already have the topic in mind and everything. We already have that lined up. It's what we want to see. Here's a little teaser.
Yeah.
It's what we want to see video games do in the future.
In the future, yeah. I've been thinking about that one. It's tough because there's like so many things you can do on that, and like you can like grand picture or like really minute, just like what they want to do. I think it's going to be a good topic. I'm looking forward to it.
Absolutely, for sure. Me too, man. Me too.
But
next May. We'll
next May. I was about to say I am in no rush. Hopefully I'm not going anywhere. So if you want to wait a year to record, I'll be here.
Oh man, it'll be before then. I promise.
Okay. Cool. But thanks for listening this far. We appreciate it, and we'll catch you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Hey, what's up? This is Alex from Low 5 Gaming. I got my brother Luke, co-host.
He's struggling through. He's sweating through some energy cocaine right
Here's the
now.
deal, y'all. We just did all this cocaine.
Energy drink.
And now we're going to bless you with our little tasting. But shout out to the big drink. Fucking man.
Pear.
Did all this cocaine.
Energy drink. This is a family affair.
Shout out to the Big Drink Energy podcast. You guys are great. Thanks for having us do this little spot. Thanks for influencing us and influencing me anyways. And, I just felt like I wanted to do cocaine in solidarity with y'all.
Energy drink.
And then, and because of that, I felt like I should make Luke do cocaine with me as well.
I feel like I need to clarify this was an energy drink. I ain't no square, but
for all of you that aren't familiar with Low 5, it's a podcast where Luke and I talk about video games, sprinkles of nostalgia, old games, new games. I don't know, what else? What do we do, dude?
make fun of you for being a collector and not actually playing any video games.
Yeah, I play them, but I do collect them as well. We're always going back and forth for that capital G gamer.
It's an amiibo, not a figurine, all right?
Yeah, let's get this out there right away. The capital G gamer has been tainted by the internet.
Sure.
There's a beautiful G that could be attached.
It's like a spot for a G, like a G spot. That's what you're going for?
This cocaine is fucking me up. Who cares?
This is a great
Listen to
read.
our fucking podcast. It's cool. If you like video games, dope. We do too. And we like to have a good time once a month. We put shit out on the 15th. We have a Discord that you can join as well. Find us at low5gaming.com. It's got links to all our socials, our Discord invite, and all that fun stuff. But if you join that Discord, we talk about whatever game we're working on for the month, playing through for that month, and it's kind of a fun little spot to, like a book club, I guess, only for video games.
That's fair. Great spread / range of games. We're talking far back as the 80s to recent releases. A lot of Nintendo heavy. Can't hide from that, but we do bounce around, get some indies, big titles.
But here's the deal. I'm all jacked up on cocaine now. And
Energy
here
drink.
is us experiencing cocaine for the first time.
Energy drink.
You better get your fucking energy up, bro, because we're about to do some cocaine.
Energy drink.
Unsanctioned sponsor, cocaine energy drink.
Energy drink.
Coming in hot, really hot, spicy hot. Because not only are we doing cocaine, we're doing spicy cocaine, bro.
Because, like, capitalism and why? Like, who
Dude, I
asked
love
for
this.
this?
So we got this can here. What do we got? 12 fluid ounces cocaine.
Right.
Spicy.
That's how it
spicy
works,
cocaine.
kids. That's how it works.
Naturally flavored spicy cocaine. So we've got some taurine, some L-carnitine. I don't know how to say these things. D-ribose.
All legal, mind you.
Yeah, we hope so. Actually, I hope not. Who cares? Energy level. I've got 3.5
3.5 bowls. Steers.
3.5 steers as the energy level on the cocaine.
Obvious
I like
metric.
That. There's a warning. This message is for the people who are too stupid to recognize the obvious. This product does not contain the drug cocaine.
Edgy.
Duh.
Wow. Yeah.
This product is not intended to be an alternative to an illicit street drug. And anyone who thinks otherwise is an idiot.
Although if you drink this instead of doing cocaine, we do sponsor that. So
That's hilarious. This is actually the first time that I've read this warning.
right.
Respect.
We do sponsor substituting this for your real cocaine.
Yeah, right. Although I will say that the cocaine font looks like,
Lined up,
I
curved
think-
around cocaine.
yeah, they're going for something.
Someone in the marketing department has clearly done cocaine before.
Right. Well, anyways, let's get at this fucking shit, dude. Cocaine.
That's what it sounds like.
Oh boy. So why is cocaine the unsanctioned sponsor of the month.
I did not expect this to be like a pinkish hue.
Ooh, yeah,
like a
me
dragon
too.
fruit color. That's what I'm talking about.
It's got an aroma too. We'll talk about that shortly. Well, anyways, there's a podcast out there called Big Drink Energy Podcast. Cool stuff, fun stuff. But the dudes on there, they, as you may have guessed, BDE Pod on the Twitter, they review cocaine. I mean, they review energy drinks. And they put out a tweet a while back with a picture of their stash. The fella was like, hey, here's the deal. I'm not really moved by any of these. Which one should I bring to work tomorrow? And then, Twitter being what Twitter is, one of the homies from the Pixel Project Radio responded saying that he heard that cocaine is foul but effective and wanted to know if that was true. So the folks at BDE decided to grace us with a video the next day of one of them drinking cocaine,
Snorting lines
on the job.
Liquid cocaine.
And I will say that I did chime into this little Twitter back and forth as well with a Jack Nicklaus gift with the do it nod from what would that
Shia
be?
LaBeouf.
No. But
Oh, I get what you're saying. Yeah.
from anger management, so it's like that, you
Yeah,
know, very
nodding.
like mischievous, like let's do the cocaine, bud.
The just do it thing got me a little thrown off. I was like, Shia LaBeouf's probably done cocaine too.
Oh,
But
man.
moving forward.
Right. But I was so moved by this. I was like, this is so funny. I just thought the whole thing was fucking funny. And I was telling my wife about it, and she's like, dude, Alex, you're like terrible. You're like peer pressuring this person into doing cocaine. I was like, well, it's not like real cocaine. And he already bought it. It's an energy drink.
I'm sure it was good content.
He was ready to go. And it's for the content, baby.
Do it for the
Whatever.
content.
But then I was like, you know what? I did like, well, fuck it. Here's the deal. I'll do cocaine in solidarity with the BDE
Energy
pod.
drink. Legally disclaiming energy drink.
So I got a hold of some cocaine on
Energy
eBay,
drink.
on the black market.
Energy drink.
But here's the deal how I went about that. I was like, I'll do some of this spicy cocaine energy drink. Actually, it's not even an energy drink, dude. It's a high caffeine energy supplement. Here,
Sure.
Take a look at that can. There you
Sure.
go. Nice red can, nice spicy looking can.
Naturally flavored, by the way.
But so
But
I hit
obviously not with cocaine.
no, that would be dumb.
No, they put baby powder in.
But so I found someone was selling this shit in New Mexico, $5 shipping, and they wanted like $12 for one single can of
You're gonna
cocaine.
get into the nitty gritty of this high stakes
Dude,
negotiations.
I tell you what. So I was like, I'll put $3 in, like a $3 bid, and see what happens. Declined. They're like, well, you can have it for $11.75. I was like, that's ridiculous. Like, you're gonna say me $1.25. I don't like it. And then a couple days went by, and then I was like, okay, $6. $6 for the content plus $5 shipping. I'm gonna do that. And they declined that. I think the highest I went was like $7. They declined it, and then they offered like $9, and I was like, I'll give you $6 because I was upset that they
They
kept
cut it with
taking-
water, though.
No, that was fresh. That was
Stepped
fresh.
on
I don't
it.
know. This might be expired though. Who knows?
No, it's not. I checked.
Oh, what's
That
our
was
date?
Just a cocaine joke. That's all.
Right on, right on.
Cut it with water. That's all.
get it.
Yeah, see what I did there.
But
I've
yeah.
watched movies.
But then they accepted. They're finally like, no one else is trying to buy this cocaine off of us except for this weirdo. So let's just give it to him. And now I have it. It's been chilling in the fridge, and now I've got it in front of us in these nice little lowball glasses. This is like, how cocaine people do with like, dollar bills, fancy if you got 100, and then you got those people that are really into cocaine that got like weird cocaine tools. Well, this is the first time I'm pretty sure that the cocaine energy drink has been put into a nice little lowball for two brothers to sip on and, have a good time.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
All right, let's go. Cheers,
Yeah.
bud. Let's check
Oh,
this
yeah.
out.
Oh, get that clank. Oh, yeah.
Ooh. Oh, yeah. Ooh, tangy.
The spiciness is weird.
Ooh, spicy.
Let's get that out of the
Kicking
way.
it. That cayenne.
Oh, yeah.
That's not bad. It's
Not as bad as I had feared.
it's
There's that
it's
very
a syrupy,
fruit. Yeah,
a little
yeah,
syrupy.
Yeah.
How's that spice? I'm gonna hit that one more time.
Shouts out to my bowels.
I feel like years are coming off of my life right now.
When you smell it, you get a little bit of that tickly nose feeling from the spiciness. So that's interesting. Makes me want to sneeze.
Ooh,
Is that a good energy drink? Makes you want to sneeze.
that's how you know you're alive, bro.
Chug it.
Oh yeah, we gotta take this down.
Fucking chug it, dog.
Ooh, cocaine.
Energy drink.
So, according to the BDE fellas, the Big Drink Energy Pod, cocaine is the 5th most caffeinated drink on the market. That's 3.5 times the amount of caffeine of Red Bull.
Yeesh.
I would say this tastes like, I don't know, it's got a really syrupy tropical. It's like what's that shit? Like the Hawaiian Punch.
It wishes
like,
it was Hawaiian
it's
Punch,
like,
dog.
dude, it's like
don't slander Hawaiian Punch's name.
For real.
Or I'm more of a Tahitian treat.
Yeah, well, that's what I was maybe thinking about. A Tahitian treat, Hawaiian Punch, that realm. Only it's definitely got that spicy kick to it, but it's weird. It's like a lingering spicy kick. It doesn't hit the way I normally would expect cayenne to hit.
It's like a melted sucker,
Right.
That's been carbonated and put spicy. Whatever that means.
So the folks at BD, when they were describing the color of this, they said it looks like Dracula cum.
Interesting.
I see
Certainly
that a
not the
little bit.
viscosity I would assume his jizz is.
I would say it's not milky enough for that. You know,
Right.
it's maybe ours is watered down. Maybe we got to talk to these folks that sold us our
Told
cocaine.
you it was cut.
Yeah.
Step down.
Some good bubbles going on in there. It is. It looks a lot like a red Jolly Rancher.
Fair.
That's
Maybe that's
been
what I was just
melted
going for
and
this
chilled.
whole time. Yeah. Some carbonated Jolly Rancher juice
I
with
see what this
some
smells
spice.
like. The cinnamon. I feel like the cinnamon. Where's the cinnamon? It's supposed to be cayenne and cinnamon. Is cinnamon in there?
Cinnamon.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's like when you get the Mexican candies with the chili powder in there.
Yeah.
Kind of like doughs melted
Ooh.
down.
So here's the deal. They also said that this was just god terrible. It's not that bad. It's whatever.
I suppose if you have high-end energy drink tastes, you would be better suited to let us know. But I also think Red Bull tastes like ass, so like I'm not.
Dude.
I think Red Bull is so overrated. It's got great branding, but we're not here for that. We're here to
No.
do energy drink cocaine.
Dude, I'll tell you what though. So years ago, I've lived many lives, and in one of my lives, I had to do overnights for this
I was
company.
like, where's this gonna go?
Yeah, it was a printing. So I worked for this printing company, and this long story short, I had to do overnights for a straight month, 7 days a week, 12-hour shifts or some bullshit. It was just terrible. But I had this crew out there, and to help motivate my crew and keep them awake through the night, we would get Monster energy drink. Dude, just also garbage. I also had I usually default to coffee. You guys know that, It's the
with a pastry.
coffee, duh. But anyway, so I would run and I would like get the whole crew just a whole bunch of Monster. And one of the homies that I worked with, didn't matter if I was getting it for the crew or not, every night he had a Monster energy drink.
Yeah.
Right.
Energy drink people are energy drink people for sure.
Dude.
Very habitual.
But this was like, because we were working nights, he wasn't like a normal energy drink person.
That was a
Ooh, those
spicy,
cocaine
That
burps.
was a spicy burp right
waiting.
there.
But dude, anyway, so like he would drink one of these every night to get through the night, right? And dude, like halfway through the month, he started having like heart palpitations.
I bet.
And he was like, "Fuck, man, I can't do this anymore. Like, it's fucking with me."
Dang.
This is making me sweat a little bit, like not in like a spicy way, but like
little
I
jittery
feel like
in me.
this.
I mean, it's 4.5 steers, bro. Or 3.5 steer logos, bro. That's crazy.
There's an interesting like purple hue to it. Maybe that's because it's a blue table. No, even like I don't know. The color is weird, man. This is not natural.
Just losing it.
This is not.
I'm a full throttle guy myself because we did the homecoming parade for the U of M when I was a child, and
yeah.
we were behind the full throttle truck. So the dudes gave me like 2 then and 4 to bring home. So I've been brand allegiance ever since. And the citrus tastes good. Shoot.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah.
Cocaine.
Energy drink.
It's not spicy enough for me.
Really? That's what's missing from this equation for you?
My what? Dude, it's spicy cocaine. I thought it'd be spicier. But
That's
it's
what
like,
you want more of.
Dude, but here's the deal. It's not spicy to my mouth or my throat, but it's starting to make me sweat. I don't know
There
what's
we
going
go.
on here. Maybe it's just because it's nice out here in Minnesota again.
Yeah. A little humid.
Right on.
All right.
Cocaine. That was cool. Peer pressure's bitch. I'm
Yeah.
just kidding. I love peer pressure. Let's fucking.
Worse, better than it could have been.
I would do more cocaine, but this is the
Energy
only one.
drink.
This is the only one I got.
Energy drink. It's a family podcast, sort of.
Unsanctioned sponsored. Cocaine Energy. Don't buy this at home. Don't buy this for your home. But it's fun.
Buy this as a fun novelty, and I cannot imagine the other circumstance as to why not. Is that like their really long tagline?
Right.
Buy this as a fun novelty. Why else?
Oh, 12 ounce. I've had about.
He's crushing it.
Well, dude, I'm trying to get to the rest. I'm trying to continue on with our pod.
I'm sipping on it like a fine, shitty wine, and he's out here.
Dude, there's a lot of cayenne in here.
Yeah, there we go. It's gonna
Oh,
make you
yeah, see?
sneeze and cough. It's not like spicy, but it does like have a weird like. I take medicine for heartburn because I'm ancient.
Dude, that's another
But
thing.
also, this is like fuck your
Cough
omeprazole, dog. Unsanctioned sponsor. Also, omeprazole for when you drink spicy energy drinks.
Oh, man. Cocaine, high caffeine energy supplement.
Drink. Yeah, energy supplement.
Right on. I can feel it. I can feel the taurine in my veins.
Let's do some fucking podcast.
Cool,
You want to
cool.
talk politics?
All right, let's get back to it, bud. Cool.
All right. Yep.
Yo, what's up?
Nope.
Oh man, I'm dying.
You just take a back seat there, dog. Deeply uncomfortable with the cocaine.
She gone.
Deeply uncomfortable with the cocaine energy drink
Man,
spot.
all the cocaine's gone.
Dude, when you
Give me some of your cocaine.
when
I'm just
you
kidding.
when you breathe in after you drink it, that's when the spice comes in. It's
Dude,
like the
that's
air
what I'm saying, the
brings in.
spice-
It's like it tickles.
Dude, the spice is not from drinking it. It's from like the
Like, from it
surrounding
lingering.
area.
It's
Like,
from
dude,
it
that's
lingering.
when I was coughing. It wasn't because of the fucking liquid was in my mouth. It's because like whatever the bubbles
Whatever.
were. I don't know what's going on, man.
This
This shit is weird.
This man sends back McChickens to McDonald's because he's like, there was too much black pepper on that McChicken.
Get out of here! I
was
love
spicy.
spice. Spice is delicious.
Yeah, you can handle more than me.
Cool. All
All
right.
right.
Unsafe sponsored. Over.
Yeah, and yeah, oh yeah, that was interesting. No, I would never willingly buy that
No.
outside of that moment. So I guess I get what they're saying as far as like if you were like recommending outside of the novelty of it, I just cannot imagine putting any money towards that company.
Cheers to you guys over at Take Drink Energy. Fucking.
I just figured you'd cut this,
Cocaine.
but sure.
All right, man. Let's get at it. Let's do our shit. You gotta finish your cocaine though. You can't just leave cocaine on the table. Make people get antsy and jealous. You want to go to the bathroom by yourself for a little bit? Sip the rest of that cocaine?
Might have some poop, just like. That's how you know it's real, boys.
All right, let's get started. Hey, everybody. My name is Rick Firestone. I am the host of a video game podcast. We're called Pixel Project Radio. We do video game analyses. We tear apart the plot, talk about it beat by beat, the themes, analyze just about everything that we can. So if you're inclined to listen to that, please do. But now for something completely different, because I am going to be helping out Mikey today by reviewing a little drink called cocaine. I found this just sort of by happenstance in this seedy little bodega in my town. A seedy little bodega run by a very nice man, but it's still kind of seedy nonetheless. And the reputation of this drink precedes it, so I wanted to get it and try it on Mike. So it's very red. The can is very red. It just says spicy. And right away, we get this really edgy little paragraph on the side. Warning, this message is for the people who are too stupid to recognize the obvious. This product does not contain the drug cocaine. Parentheses, duh. This product is not intended to be an alternative to an illicit street drug, and anyone who thinks otherwise is an idiot. So right away, not a great impression off the bat. Like, you're not cool. Stop trying to be cool. The edginess was cool in middle school. You look ridiculous. Like, get off your high horse, you fucking idiot. The flavor just says spicy, and that's all it says. And it has 2 pictures of red chilies. So, in my experience, drinks that have chili as a flavor can go one of 2 ways, and it's never in the middle. Just looking at the back here, it looks like we've got 100% of a day's worth of vitamin C. That's pretty cool. 300% of a day's worth of vitamin B6. 600% of B12. So this is just bombed with vitamins and shit. Interestingly, though, the caffeine content isn't any higher, and it is, in fact, technically lower than some other competitors like GFuel and the one drink who shall not be named. Because their CEO is a dick. Otherwise, it's just standard stuff, standard ingredients. We've seen this before in pretty much every energy drink. Distributed in Athens. I used to live there. That's pretty cool. Energy level 3.5 cow heads. I'm guessing out of 4, maybe out of 5. I don't know. I also don't know how to rate that scale. What does a cow head mean? Is it the energy of a cow? I'm not really sure. This doesn't tell me a lot, but what does tell me a lot and what I'm excited about is the best by date on the bottom of the can is a month out. Or not a month out, but a month past. So this is past the Best By date. So I'm very excited. The reputation of this drink is horrible. Let's get it cracked on mic. Listen to that. We're going to pour it into a glass because the can lid on this is just disgusting. It's kind of gross. It's got some texture, if you know what I mean. I'm not sure if that's from the shipping warehouse or from the CD bodega or what, but let's get this poured. Just going to pour a little bit for now. The smell is atrocious. It smells terrible. When you inhale it, it's a series of needles just puncturing your nostrils. Not really getting much of the chili at all. It's just a lot of generic energy chemicals. It does not smell natural. It does not look natural. It's as red Kool-Aid. So let's say a prayer and give this a drink. So this is interesting. It's nowhere near as bad as Mikey had led me to believe it. It's not good, don't get me wrong. The new Flamin' Hot Cheeto Mountain Dew is actually spicier than this drink. There's barely any hint of any chili at all. It's not spicy at all. All it tastes like is just heavily sugared and generic, artificial, sweetened Kool-Aid. It really just tastes like sugar. Sugar and chemicals. That's all this tastes like. Not good. Definitely not good. But it's not horrible. There's worse. I've had worse. Certain Bang drinks are far, far worse than this. So I'm going to finish it just because I need the kick today, but this is, if I had to rate it on my own personal scale, I would give this maybe like 45 out of 210 wingdings. So not great, but also not terrible. Thanks for letting me talk on your show a little bit, Mikey. I'm going to plug my nose and finish this drink. Thanks for having me, Mikey. See you later. Bing! Addendum. So I actually came back onto the mic to say this. This makes my chest feel bad. Like my throat and my chest feel not healthy after drinking this. This sucks. The flavor's not too bad, but I can't recommend this. This is just not fucking good. Just drink a Monster, for God's sake. If you're gonna be at a bodega, just get a fucking Monster. All right, or eat a banana or something. I don't know. All right. Thanks again, Mikey. Bye.